Chopping samples is easy, it's you that makes it hard. I remember when I first started off, I was trying to sample things that were just way too hard to sample, or better yet, it just wasn't a good sample to chop. Now, yes, you should always challenge yourself and always just exercise your creativity, but I think when you're first starting off and you want to get into sampling and start making these doper beats, you're going to have to do quantity. So in today's video, I'm gonna be chopping up 2 samples just to show you guys my approach and how I don't really try to get too intricate with it, you know? Once I hear it, I just run with it. So let's get into it. All right, so I got the sample pull up and let's just hear how it just sounds right off the bat. In the beginning, that's a chop right there. This is how you know if you got a good sample, if you hear the chop right away as soon as you turn on the track. And now it don't always have to be that, but that's a good indicator. That's a good chop right there too. Throughout this whole thing, you could just find some dope chops. So let's just go in. And I like to use the plus tool versus like trying to zoom in this way, because with the plus tool, I could hit the point that I want and then it just goes right to it. And let's just put it on 0 snaps so we get a better chop. And just scroll it over. And then if I want to get to the start, I don't have to do this. I could just hit start and it jumps right to it. And scroll over. Now, when it comes to this whole copyright issue, whether it's splice using loops or just sampling in general, I'm still really not understanding what is the issue with other producers and how they getting copyright strikes. Like, are you guys not tweaking the sample? Are you just leaving it as is? Because anytime I use splice or any track lip samples, I don't have any issue, bro. So the first thing that you can do is just pitch it. And this sounds a bit fast to me. So what I want to do is actually slow it down. So I could just go down. And a quick tip, if you want to know if you have a good chop, you could just use pad 16 to see if it loops properly. Yeah, so it sounds good to me and there's no clicks. Now the next thing I want to do is actually pitch it back up because I want a different key. This key sounds all right, but I think we could choose a better key. So what I want to do is go to process. I actually want to hear it up a few notes. So let's just go to pitch this time. And I'm going to pitch because I want to keep the tempo that I have from tuning it down. So let's go up a few notes. Let's hear how this sounds. That's hard, bro. And that's just one chop. So now what I can do is I could just go process and discard and all that. But let's say I do want to go back into my sample. I don't want to just discard everything. And instead of just going to extract, what I could also do is just assign it and go to the second option over, make new sample. And you're going to see it says crop sample. Keep that check. So when I hit the pad, what it's going to do is automatically it's going to extract it. So if I go over, this is my chop right here. And I could still go in the trim, go to BPM chops and still mess with the chops like this. Just like that. But I don't have to get that crazy. I like how that loop already sounds. So we could just go back to trim and go to slices, put it back on all. All right, so now that I have the pattern assigned to sample 1, now it's time to figure out the tempo. And if you haven't noticed, I do have these new headphones, man. You know, the DT770 Pro X limited edition. And I ain't know nothing about this, bro. Like, I've been rocking these Audio Technicas for many years. And look, dude, it's done for, bro. It went to war and back, bro. It don't get any done up than this, but I like these because, man, these are mad comfortable, bro. Let me know in the comments what is your favorite headphones and what you think is the best headphones. So now I just got to figure out the tempo. So what I do is just use the tap button and hit the pad. So you see that I'm tapping it and the numbers are just jumping crazy. It's going from 72 to 111 to 116. You just want to pick a consistent number, and for me, it's looking around like 115, 114-ish. And then we could just always scale up if it seems like a bit like silence or, you know, have a weird pause. So let's just start at like 112. So let's just record this in. So you see how it just paused? It didn't really loop good. So that's at 112. So all you have to do is just go up a bit. That sounds good to me. So now I just want to go to the effects real quick. And I like to use this air flavor to just kind of take away any imperfections. Not completely, but you know, just to give it a bit of different timbre. And also, I want to extend my bars out just a bit more to like 8 bars, because you don't want to just have this pattern just keep repeating like that. You want to add something towards the end. So my timing been off lately, man, but let's just nudge those back. Actually, let me add one more. So you see how quick I just chopped that up. Now I ain't going to just leave you guys like this. I actually added like a drum and a bass so you guys get a better understanding of how a simple chop could just turn into something that is dope. And we could always go back and chop up something else with it. So let's just hear it with the drums and the bass. Now I do have an announcement, which is the new ebook out, and this is called the Sensei Workflow. Now the thing with this ebook versus the first ebook was more about like different sauces that you can use with the MPC. But this one is about a workflow, and specifically for the 2.0, but it can still translate over to 3.0. Like the sampling topics, like the sampling workflow, it won't change because that's within the sample edit mode. And then the mixing, that may change a little just because of the navigations and the layout might be different, but the concepts can still be applied, like bus compression, adding vintage effects to your drums and stuff like that. Also, if you found value in my videos and you wanted to show some support, that's a great way to help the channel. So now let's get back to the video. I could definitely hear Drake on this, and it has like, I can't remember the song, but a part of this chop has that one sound that I feel like I heard in a Drake song. All right, so I got this sample and it sounds like this. Come on, man. Just like I told you before, if you hear it from the beginning, then you already know it's a banger, B. So right off the back, I'm just gonna go to that first chop in the beginning. Now, for this sample, I don't want to really tune it because I actually do like how it sounds. Now, the other thing left to make it my own is to chop it up. First, let's go to process and discard. And I'm discarding because I know I just want this chop. So let's go to BPM chops. And I just mess around with the chops. And any chops that I need to adjust, I'll do that. But for the most part, I just go to BPM chops. So let's just mess around. Just like that, man. We could just convert this new program using slices. So then come to our program, switch to the other side so we have our slices. Now, before we even get to the tempo, everything, I'm actually just jump into some effects real quick just to take away a bit of those imperfections. Like I said, I like to go to my air flavor. If you don't have this, just try to mess with any filter. So it takes away some of those highs. Now it's time to figure out the tempo. So now you can see, like, when you have a more complicated pattern, it's going to be kind of hard to like tap it out. This is a bit advanced, but start off just with the basic part. So right off the back, it's jumping around 90. So I'm gonna just assume that it's 90. Now I went ahead again and put the drums and the bass. So I'm just going to pretty much play the chop that I have along with that. So let's just record that in. So I hope you took away something from this video, and that is just have fun, man. Don't always try to aim for those big wins. You know, a lot of people get into their head like, nah, this gotta be like this or like that, and then they get inside the comments and say, nah, this is not sampling. Don't even feed into all those other producers, because they're gonna mess up how you like perceive your own music, bro. And this is why a lot of people are finding it hard to like chop samples, because they feel like if they do something this simple that it doesn't count. So don't let any other producer tell you how to produce. And if you want to know how to chop samples and understand sample edit mode a bit better and its functions, then watch this video next. Like and subscribe and share with your other producer friends. Peace.